So today I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about how to get rid of these albizia trees behind me, and just wanted to. These are one of the biggest nuisance trees in Hawaii. Called albizia. They were introduced a long time ago, and normally they're native African trees. They're super fast growing, but here the root systems are really shallow, so they get really big, but then they're very dangerous and problematic. The branches are always falling, and yeah, you don't want them anywhere near your property. So the main thing that needs to be done is they need to be killed. They need to be poisoned and then cut down so they stop spreading their seeds. And you can see in the background over here is a giant one. I'll show you a better shot of one here in a minute. But so this is a field next to our house, and I'm gonna take care of these trees today before they get any bigger. They grow about 15 feet per year. So first thing I need to do is I need to go get some poison from my buddy Matt, who's down here at the bakery, and yeah, then we'll get started. It's funny because I live about 2 seconds from the bakery, but I'm still gonna drive because I need to get the poison at his house. Right down here at the bakery now. I actually had forgotten that we had poisoned this albizia right here. This was a pretty bad one, and I think about 4 or 5 months ago we just went up there and poisoned it, and it's completely dead now.
It's a fuzzy microphone.
Yeah. So hi, this is Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hey, how's it going?
Steve was actually a friend of ours here that he lived down in a subdivision that has a ton of albizia. It was actually probably one of the worst subdivisions. And you actually had an albizia fall on your house, didn't you?
I actually had 2 limbs of an albizia tree fall on my house at 2 different times.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
What was the background of that? Like, were they on your property, or were they next to your property, or?
This albizia tree was a giant albizia tree, and it was on the property next to mine. And that property was owned by people who lived in Japan, and it was unimproved property, and they had no intention of doing anything to it. So we contacted somebody who actually contacts people who have unimproved property to see if they'll get them to sell it or do something with it. And he was never even able to get them to take the tree down. They took down a lot of the other trees on the property, but not this one.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I think recently they've just been we've just had some more legislation that's passed that's giving more power to people that are wanting to improve, or basically take down albizia.
So where you can enter your neighbor's property after giving fair notice, and cut it down.
Yeah.
But it's not forcing them to pay for it yet.
Yeah. And I think that's a big step in the right direction.
Some of us might just go like this. Like you know about here.
Yeah.
And then go on.
Yeah. But it also, there still remains the problem of what happens when the tree next to your house is, 150 feet tall, and it's going to cost $10,000 to take it down. Yeah, we might have permission to take them down, but there's still the issue of actually, who's going to pay for it?
And that's right.
But something needs to be done, because it's not just a hazard for someone's house, but someone could die from the tree falling on the house or on the garage.
We were very fortunate. One time it fell on a non-inhabited area of the house, so more storage than anything else.
Yeah.
The second time, it fell right across the front door.
That's crazy.
Right across the roof in front of the front door. At that time, I had my son-in-law living there. We had moved out, but he happened to be out for the evening.
Yeah.
He came home at 9:30 at night and just saw this giant tree limb right in front of the front door. He couldn't even get in the house.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was bad.
I live in Nanabali.
Yeah.
And her parents were visiting from California, had never really seen the whole cabin in the woods thing.
Yeah.
And just as they were in the house, a big branch of the albizia came and smashed the corner of her roof. Huge shock, bent the whole doorway.
Yeah.
The whole house was reverberated, and needless to say, that was not what she was hoping when her parents were visiting for the first time to see her living situation.
That didn't help their
with their grandchild.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a serious problem. So, well, I'm gonna get eating here. This is one of the benefits when your friend owns a bakery.
Oh, that's beautiful.
This is a hot pastrami sandwich, and it's gonna taste just as good as it looks. So we got right here, this corner. These Albizia right there used to be all the way up next to the corner, and a big huge crew just had to come and take them down. It was a massive crew. It took them several days just to take out like a 50-yard section of the Albizia there. It's pretty crazy how big of a problem it is.
This road here going down to Pohiki was the one that was most affected, I think, by the 2014 hurricane.
Yeah.
And so this entire road going in front of us used to be just a tunnel of Albizia trees.
Yeah.
And caused, I believe it was millions of dollars worth of damage.
Yeah.
Locked people off from electricity, food, and everything for about, depending on who it was 2 weeks to a month.
Yeah.
And so they came in and leveled all this, but this problem is easily, you know, it's easy to fix it on the front end if you just kill the trees when they're at a reasonable height.
Yeah, the preventative maintenance.
There's a dead one right there.
Yeah.
And as we enter Nanavali, you'll see the entire left side is all completely Albizia trees. Some of them treated, some of them still alive.
Yeah, you can see this one that's completely dead.
I saw this line come down a few months ago from one of the branches on that tree falling off, and right in front of me blew up the transformer.
Yeah. And as we turn into Nanavali, you're going to see they've had a huge effort to wipe out all the ones at this entrance here, because these, you'll see all the dead ones here on the left hand side, all these were all falling over and wiping out the power to the whole subdivision. So here you have individual subdivisions taking ownership of their own trees. So here we are over in Nanavali, and across the street from Matt's place, there's a big Albizia that got taken down. You wanted to share a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, well, the main point is that if you don't plan ahead, there's actually two sections right here where a big Albizia tree went down, and then all of a sudden now there's a big forest of small Albizia trees. And if you don't go hike out there and take care of those, the next thing you know, it's the next skyline of 150-foot Albizia trees.
Yeah.
You'll catch them.
Did the first Albizia that went down, was it poisoned first?
No.
Okay.
But if it was poisoned first, then all the seeds that dropped probably would have been sterile.
Yep. Absolutely. So biggest thing is don't just go out and cut down Albizias, because it's going to spread everywhere if you do that. You got to put the milestone in and kill it first.
Yep.
And then there's another spot up here. You'll see this is one of the ones that Matt poisoned. And you can see how it's mostly dead, but then on the right hand side over here you can see that it's still alive. So basically that's showing the absolute importance on the really big Albizias. You have to make a hatchet mark every 6 inches as you go around, and I'll show that here later in the video. But if you only do a few, you're going to partially kill the tree and it's still going to be alive, and it'll continue to grow. So it's really important to thoroughly poison the tree all the way around. So, all right, so here's the big jug of milestone. This is the herbicide that's used to kill the Albizia, and this jug is enough to kill seriously thousands of Albizia. So it's a total overkill for just a normal homeowner that's looking to take control of their Albizia. But we're going to try to get a bunch of these available. But I'll also put the link in the description of where you can buy this on Amazon and where you can get it locally in smaller quantities. So hopefully that'll be a help. So I got my son in front of the trunk of this thing. It's probably, here, hold out your hands, or spread your arms out, straight out. Yeah, it's probably, I would say at least 4 feet in diameter. And then just to give you an idea, fold this thing up. To give you an idea how big this thing is. It's huge. And then over here, right there, you can see one of the big limbs just snap off. They're just weak. Big windstorm comes and they fall down, and you do not want to be anywhere near this tree in a windstorm. So another problem that we're dealing with right now is these albizia are creeping their way into town, and left unchecked, they just, you know, you can see them off over here, and they're just working their way down towards Island Naturals here. But yeah, it takes everyone working together, county, government, all the citizens. It's going to take everyone working together to fight the spread of these things, especially around populated areas and roads and houses. All right, so I just topped up the 12-inch chainsaw with gas and oil. This is a Tanaka, super awesome little saw. These trees you don't need some giant chainsaw. They're all softwood trees, so this thing works great. I'll leave a link in the description for it. It's about 200 bucks for this thing. And then I've got the milestone, and all it is a little tiny dripper, but this is probably enough poison to kill 100 trees. I mean, it's pretty crazy. And of course I wear earmuffs, and then I'm bringing a machete for for cutting open the tree to put the poison in. So all right, let's go out there and take some of these down. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and head into the first tree. It's pretty gnarly going in. So anyways, yep, let's go in there. And once you get in here, the first thing to do is you got to get the brush cut around the tree so you can cut down. I've decided that I'm going to cut these things about waist high after we poison them, just so that if this ever gets cleared by a tractor or something, like the stumps of these things won't be hidden, but they'll be pretty visible. So I'm going to leave them about waist high. So. All right, so first thing is this tree, you want to make a slit basically every 6 inches or so. So this tree, you know, if I put my fingers around it, it gets about halfway around. So I'm gonna put in 2 slits, one on each side, and then I'm gonna put 3 or 4 drops of the milestone in each one of the slits. So the thing what you want to do is you want to get a machete or a hatchet and just cut a big, just a slice like that, so you get an opening in the tree like that, and then you want to do one on the other side. Then I'm going to set this down and then take the poison. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. All right, so once you've poisoned it, I've heard from the experts that these things will die. The poison travels up and down within 30 seconds. So you can go ahead and cut the tree down right away, and the seeds won't grow back, and the seeds won't spread, basically. So this is a smaller one, so I'm not going to worry about too much about it. I am going to drop it this way, but the bigger ones, you have to be really careful. You know what you're doing when you're cutting down the big ones. So. Basically, these little tiny ones, you only need to put 1 cut in it, and then go ahead and poison it. Just a couple drips are fine. So I've waited about a minute since I poisoned it with the milestone, and now I'm just gonna hold it and then just get the rest of it. All right, so we already cut twice, poisoned it, waited a few minutes, and now we're gonna cut this one down. I changed blades because the other one was dual, so that made a big difference. All right, so half the battle is getting to these stupid trees. That's all the work. It's easy to cut these things. So far, we haven't seen too many fire ants in the grass itself, but so when I came up here, they love these trees. Oh man, these are the worst little things. Anyways, you gotta be, if this field was filled with fire ants, it would be the biggest curse ever. So anyways, now I'm gonna cut this thing down. Alright, well, that's enough for today. I'm completely wiped. So stinking hot. Best to do it in the coolest part of the day. Anyways, time to go get wet. It's the community pool, and it's a bummer the diving board's closed, so I'm just gonna hop in the water here. But yeah, it's a pretty awesome pool. It's totally free. So we're all cooled down, and I think that's gonna be a wrap for today. I kind of got a late start, so I didn't get all the albizia cut down, but I cut down about half of them out there in that field, and I'll finish up the rest another day. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of give you an overview of how to do that, and yeah, I hope you guys are having a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.